Also, if you can hear some weird like not crackling sounds but like bubbling sounds, I basically have my Pepsi can like near my mic, not like super near it, but yeah. But I'm hoping it's like relaxing because it kind of sounds cool. So, dressed in a rubber mask and wearing sunglasses, the mysterious intruder looked like artificial intelligence. Television character Max Headroom. Even the grey background behind the figure was reminiscent of the simulated background that appeared behind Headroom. There was hardly any sound, but the image was still frightening. The figure bobbed around in front of the spinning background as a buzzing noise played. After 30 seconds, signal engineers at WGN, who broadcasted Channel 9, switched the frequency of the studio link to another transmitter, bringing Dan Roan back to the audience's screens. Well, quote unquote, well, if you're wondering what's happened, he said, clearly as confused as the viewers. So am I. After the brief interruption, Roan continued his previously scheduled broadcast. Studio engineers assumed that the hijack was an inside job and immediately began searching the building for the masked intruder. However, their search was unsuccessful, as the broadcast turned out to be a pre-recording from a third party at a separate location, and there was another one on the way. The hacker returns for a second show, 2 hours after the first episode. The Max Headroom impersonator was back, this time on Channel 11 at 11:15 p.m. The PBS affiliate WWTW was airing a Doctor Who episode titled The Honour of Funk Rock. Then, as suddenly as before, the video cut out. Scan lines like those at the beginning of a VHS recording appeared, followed by the familiar masked figure. The figure bobbed in front of the rotating background as before, the same mask covering his face. However, unlike the 9:15 recording, this one had audio. They're coming to get me, the man screamed suddenly. Bend over, a female voice responded. The man was then spanked repeatedly with a fly swatter as he screamed. Yeah, this is not porn, guys. Apparently, this is something that actually happened. Really fucking weird. Anyway, how they did it. The entire Max Headroom hack lasted 1 minute and 22 seconds before signal transmitters were able to black it out. They discovered that at the time of the incident, there were no engineers on duty at the WTTW transmitter tower, had there been someone there, the signal could have been stopped. By the time they noticed the error, however, the 90-second transmission was over. Since there was no one on duty during the transmission, the only copies of the hack came from Doctor Who fans who had been taping the episode on their VCRs. WGN and WTTW covered the incident, broadcasting the video again and again, calling the mastermind behind it a TV video pirate. Most Chicagoans were amused, some were confused, and some were upset that their television show had been interrupted. The Doctor Who fan would have been pissed. Let me just outcome said. But it is a very serious matter because illegal interference of a broadcast signal is a violation of federal law. Eventually, the FCC worked out how the hacker had done it by placing his or her own dish antenna between the transmitter tower. The hacker could have effectively interrupted the original signal. They wouldn't even have needed expensive equipment, just good timing and positioning. They were also able to pinpoint a location where the video might have been shot. Based on the background of the videos, agents from the FCC determined it was most likely the rolled down door of a warehouse and tracked it to a district that had warehouses with doors like it. The hunt for the elusive hacker behind the Max Headroom Incident continues. Though the FCC had found most pieces of the puzzle, the biggest one remained. Who was the man behind the mask? Rumours around the identity of the person responsible for the Max Headroom hack floated around, but they were quickly dismissed. Most weren't even investigated. It seems that whoever did it simply faded into oblivion, satisfied with their work, uneager to continue drawing attention to themselves. But over the years, a few names have reappeared in forums and Reddit threads. Gotta love Reddit. Among the most popular contenders is Eric Fournier. I think that's how I pronounce it. I'm gonna put it up on the screen. The creator of Shay St. John, a fictional model who was disfigured in a car accident and recreated her body from mannequin parts. Fans of Fournier's Shay St. John point to artistic similarities between his bizarre, campy videos and the hacker's surreal and disconcerting footage, notably the use of masks and unconvincing prosthetics. Those who knew Fournier best, however, say the link is tenuous. His bandmates are sure Fournier had little to no experience with broadcast communications, and they don't think he was in Chicago at the time of the hack. They do, however, acknowledge that he would have been amused to the subject of such rumours. Sadly, Fournier died in 2010 from internal bleeding, the result of a long battle with alcoholism, and can't confirm or deny the gossip. The legacy of the Max Headroom Incident. The Max Headroom hack wasn't the first of its kind, and it wasn't the last either. One notable forerunner was Captain Midnight, the first hacker to interrupt a broadcast signal with his own personal message. He was mad that HBO had raised prices, so on April the 27th, 1986, he interrupted that night showing of the Falcon and amateur radio license suspended for a year, but what he did had unsettled more than a few people. So by the time of the Max Headroom hack, less than 2 years later, satellite hijacking was a felony, and the stakes were essentially higher. Today, signal intrusions are more difficult to pull off, but they are occasionally successfully attempted. In 2007, New Jersey viewers of the Handy Manny cartoon on Playhouse Disney suddenly found themselves watching porn, like on a child show. And in 2009, a disgruntled Comcast employee managed to interrupt the Super Bowl for Tucson viewers with 37 seconds of porn. The consequences remain severe, and the hackers are usually caught. The Max Headroom hack remains the gold standard. Its content was bizarre, its motives were mysterious, and its perpetrator was never caught, which the whole thing is insane to me. And obviously, like, finding out that other people have done it, and like they've managed to get bloody Disney, which is a children's, well, or teenagers show, showing explicit content. Like, what the hell? Like, it's crazy to me. Anyway, I'm gonna do another quick conspiracy theory that's not related to this. That's the Alaskan Triangle. So yeah, as a separate, but we'll do it together. So, vanishing planes, energy vortexes, and UFO sightings inside the mysteries of the Alaska Triangle. More than 20,000 people have vanished in the stretch of forest between, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that because I have no clue, so I'm going to put it on their screen, Anchorage and Juneau, known as the Alaska Triangle, and some say paranormal forces may be to blame. The Bermuda Triangle, also known as the Devil's Triangle, is a religion in the North Atlantic, infamous for a number of mysterious disappearances over the years, fueling urban legends and conspiracy theories alike. But much further to the north is another equally strange and mysterious triangle of land known as the Alaska Triangle. This religion, loosely defined as the wilderness between that word again, Anchorage, and that word again, has also been called Alaska's Bermuda Triangle, although that description is perhaps a disservice to how truly deadly the Alaska Triangle is. The phenomenon first came to public attention in October 1972 when a small passenger plane suddenly disappeared en route from Anchorage to neither its passenger Virgin Cessna 310 plane, along with one of Bridget's aides, Russell Brown, and the pilot, Don Johns. Boggs had been visiting the freshman Bridget's during a campaign trip, but at some point during their flight, the plane seemingly vanished into thin air. According to Politico, when word of the plane's sudden disappearance reached Washington, D.C., it kick-started the largest search and rescue operation seen up to that point in U.S. history. In total, 40 military aircraft and 50 civilian planes aided in the search, which spanned 325,000 square miles and lasted more than 3,600 hours, which is insane. But 39 days later, the search party found nothing, not a trace of the plane or anyone who was on it. The search was called off, and the incident prompted Congress to pass a law mandating that all US civil aircraft be equipped with emergency locator transmitters. Not long after, conspiracy theories surfaced, including one pertaining to Boggs' membership on the Warren Commission, set up by President Lyndon B. Johnson to investigate John F. Kennedy's assassination, and his dissenting opinion on the Commission's report pointing to a lone assassin. In short, Boggs believed that Kennedy's assassination may have involved multiple individuals, and conspiracy theorists believed Boggs was killed because he was looking too deeply into something he shouldn't have been. However, Boggs' plane was not the first or last to disappear in the Alaska Triangle. In fact, in 1950, a military aircraft carrying 44 people also vanished without a trace. The same happened with a Cessna 340 carrying 4 passengers in 1990, Discovery reports. And the mysterious disappearances don't stop there. In fact, the situation only becomes more staggering when factoring in the number of individual people who have gone missing in the Alaska Triangle. More than 16,000 since 1988, or to put it another way, roughly 4 out of every 1,000 individuals in Alaska, more than double the national average. Of course, the biggest question is why? Paranormal theories about the Alaska Triangle disappearances. According to the Travel Channel, one prominent theory regarding the Alaska Triangle and the numerous disappearances within the region comes from a strange report made to the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, in 1986. The report claimed that Japan Airlines Flight 1628 had encountered 3 unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP, more commonly known as unidentified flying objects, UFOs. The pilot reported that they initially believed the craft to be military before realizing that the objects were keeping pace with the plane and moving about in an erratic motion while emitting bursts of light. These claims were reportedly later verified by civilian and military radar, leading some to speculate that the thousands of strange disappearances that have occurred in the Alaska Triangle could be attributed to extraterrestrials. Another theory suggests that massive swirling energy vortexes exist within the Alaska Triangle. Supposedly, the direction an energy vortex spins can influence human behaviour. That's so interesting. I've never heard of that. That's so weird. How, like, an energy vortex, the way it spins, can influence people's behaviour, like our behaviour. That is so freaking weird and scary. A clockwise vortex, for instance, creates positive emotions, while a counter obviously if you go forward, it's seen as going like forward is seen as positive, but going back into the past is seen as negative, if that makes sense. Not in the literal sense, but you know what I mean. Like, it makes sense in a way. Indeed, electronic readings have reportedly detected significant magnetic. That's my light just gone. Hopefully it's fine without the artificial lighting, and hopefully you guys don't mind. Irregularities within the Alaska Triangle, and search teams in the area have reported their compasses being more than 30 degrees off. Some have also reported feeling disorientated or experiencing auditory hallucinations, which purportedly could account for why people get lost or crash in the Alaska Triangle. Other theories trace back even further, rooting themselves in Native American folklore. The Tlingit and Tsimshian peoples, for example, have told stories of a creature known as the Kushtaka, a shapeshifter that prowls the Alaskan wilderness searching for its prey. The Kushtaka is similar in appearance to an otter, but often appears to those lost in the woods as a trusted friend, leading their victim deeper into the wilderness and either tearing them to shreds or turning them into a Kushtaka. There are other theories as well, some more outlandish than others, ranging from heavy air and strange weather to energy lasers beamed from the lost city of Atlantis. That said, there are also a few more grounded explanations regarding the Alaska Triangle for the skeptics out there. Geographical factors that could explain why people go missing in the Alaska Triangle. While it may be fun to postulate supernatural occurrences within the Alaska Triangle, it would be a disservice to discuss the region without likewise looking into scientific explanations for its numerous disappearances. According to the manual, one of the most likely scientific explanations, quite simply geography. With year-round snowfall, dense wilderness, and massive glaciers containing hidden caves and giant crevices, the odds of finding a drowned aircraft or poor soul's body are slim. Hikers might fall into deep holes, their tracks likely covered with snow before the light has left their eyes. Even planes, despite their massive size, can quickly become buried under heavy snowfall. Keeping in mind too that the state of Alaska is itself massive. Alaska is more than twice the size of Texas, and most of it is still uninhabited by humans. The paranormal theories surrounding the Alaska Triangle are certainly exciting to discuss, but the truth is that it's unfortunately very easy for a person to go missing in the Alaskan wilderness, next to impossible to find them when they do. Also, a crazy conspiracy theory